And now for something completely different. After securing a new 5k PB, I've left the flat and predictable Wyre Pitchcroft Parkrun behind to try something a little bit different. Well, a lot different. Wyre Forest Parkrun has been on my radar for a long while, but I had avoided it due to just how undulating, runners bloody love that word, it apparently is. I'm not a big fan of hills, but as I'm training for a trail marathon in the Malvern Hills, I figured I should probably get over myself and give it a go. To make things interesting, I didn't research the course ahead of time, which is a huge deal for me as I'm big into planning before races, even if I usually just abandon any plans once the gun goes off. For my first Wyre Forest Parkrun, I went in blind. All I knew was that there was a big hill at the very end, but that is it. What came before was going to be a total surprise. And to make things that bit more entertaining, I figured I'd go out fast and just try to hold on. How did that go? Well, you won't have to wait too long to find out. The first kilometre, which was undulating but net downhill, ticked over in 4:14. That is 5k PB pace, so let's see where we go from here. The second kilometre is net downhill again, however I let the speed go a little here to stick with people and try to calm my breathing and heart rate. I'd underestimated the negative impact hills can have if attacked too eagerly, especially without any focused hill training, so I wound things back a little bit. Thankfully, the surrounding forest provided a beautiful backdrop for the run, and it became easy to just get distracted and detached from the building pain. The second kilometre was completed in 4:26. As I began the third kilometre, I felt the first sign of change in the course. While there had been undulating ups and downs during the first 2 kilometres, it's the third that really had a bit of bite to it. This is where I first felt my legs getting heavy. My pace slowed down a little, but relative to the gradient, it still wasn't that bad for now. Kilometre 3 ticked over in 4:39. The fourth kilometre starts with a lovely downhill before you're suddenly hit with a sharp uphill. Though I appreciated the downhills here, I could no longer get up to my desired speed, and I just sort of flobbed down them. My heart rate had climbed ever closer to the point of 190, and I could feel it. Looking back, I should have respected the hills more, taking more time on the earlier inclines. The fourth kilometre was completed in 5:14. Kilometre 5 is where going in blind really messed me up. I'd already had enough of the hills, but this is where the undulation really kicked in. The fifth kilometre starts with a steady 300-metre climb, followed by a very brief break of flat ground. It's just enough for the burning in your legs to fade a little, but you're soon back at it for another 300 metres of steeper climbing. It's towards the end of this section, at around 4.7 kilometres, where I finally broke. Almost 200 metres from the finish line, nearly at the top of the final hill with only a downhill to go, I had to walk. Normally, the 200-metre marker is where my instincts kick in for a big finish, but on that day at Wyre Forest Parkrun, it all came crashing down. The burning in my legs hit the maximum I could handle, and seeing yet even more uphill to come, I cracked and I was forced to walk. Had I known that I was just 100 metres away from the downhill finish, perhaps I could have found something to get me across the line, but that is the trouble with going in blind and not being able to visualise the finish line and draw it closer to you. That final kilometre took me 5 minutes 37 to complete, making for a total time of 24:16.
Well done, Sam, you there? You there? Well done, mate, it's there, it's just there.